Okay, what I want to show here is going back to this main model. How can we fix this a little bit more? Like we've got most of the body parts modeled up, but the head, let's look at the head. The head was one of the parts that wasn't too bad, but if we zoom in really close and take a good look at it, we're going to see there are some issues with the head. For instance, what we have here, if we go to this kind of eye area, we've got a lot of T-junctions. These are places where you've got an edge that just stops. Now here's an edge that's acceptable. This edge just keeps going. And here's an edge that's acceptable. These edges just keep going. By the way, I noticed something here. I've got this selection box around my model. And that's usually a good thing because we can tell where the model is, if it's a crowded area or confusing. But what I'm going to do is go to Configure and change my under rendering method, under rendering options, use selection brackets is turned on. I'm going to turn it off. So I don't want to see any extra white lines because I've got enough white lines here as it is. I'm also going to right click here and say hide unselected so I can really focus on this head for a while. So lots of issues right in here. Lots of extra edges we don't need. Like what are these edges doing here? They're a complete waste is what they are. So I'm going to go to this edge here. I'm going to grab all these and we'll just see if we can get rid of them and just kind of work our way through some of the things. Maybe not fix this head entirely, but make a little headway so some of you can make better models. So use Control and grab multiples here. It's almost like you're not really sure where to start. And there's so many extra things, extra edges. So what were we doing the last time? Last video I think it was, we did a control backspace or control remove. And so if we go to vertex, you can see all those vertices. There's no stray vertices now. Well, there are plenty of stray vertices, but none in those areas because that's the remove method. So let's go and do a little bit more. And sometimes once you get into it, if you kind of treat working with Max like it's kind of a video game or something itself, it makes it a lot more pleasant to work with when you're doing something tedious. Just don't be in a big hurry, just kind of enjoy the ride, and in a way it's fun. So what are we going to do? Control, remove. Now, this area here needs to be connected to something or you still have a T-junction. And here's one way I can tell a good model or a bad model pretty fast. Let me get out of sub-object mode. This model is selected. I'll go to my modifiers drop-down list and I'll go to Mesh Smooth. So Mesh Smooth right here. Now when I do a Mesh Smooth modifier on this, areas that are not modeled well will tend to look kind of crinkly and squished up and funny. And that's what's happened here, even after we've done a little bit of repair work on it. And here, and if we just spin it around a little bit, it's not really, like I said, it's not too bad. It's just a couple of trouble areas. So let's get rid of the Mesh Smooth modifier and see if we can fix this. Let's get rid of a few other areas and then we'll see if we can get rid of some of those T-junctions. So that needs to go, that needs to go. Holding down Control, getting multiple edges here. And Control remove. And lots of these up here. And some of them you might want to leave in. If you really need to have that detail in there, which is something you could debate, then you have to put it in right, which means you've got to build more edges. So let's get rid of a few more of these edges. These definitely don't have to be here because there's no curve in this edge. It's all straight, so these are total waste. And I'm not sure what I can live without and what I need here, so I'm going to just do a few more. And do you need these eyes, if that's what they are? That's something that to my mind would be better done with a texture map than with an actual model detail like this. So what I'm going to do is get rid of all these. because it's going to be a lot of work to make those things look right. And I don't think the payback is there, at least the way I'm looking at this. And you can disagree with me. So I'm just deleting those. And what am I seeing here? It's kind of hard. I think we got a double layer here or something. I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell what's going on if I spin it around. Okay, I'm picking stuff on the back edge. So, okay, so what we've got here is it's just the eyes that we can get rid of now. Let's just delete those. I better turn on ignore backfacing so I can get this stuff without accidentally picking something behind. Hopefully I haven't already deleted stuff. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take an edge and I'm going to shift, control, and what I'm doing is actually copying an edge and creating geometry at the same time. Now it didn't really go where I wanted it to, but I can go to target weld here and weld it into place. And we can probably do the same thing right here. Let's go into edge mode, grab this edge. In fact, yeah, just that edge. Do we have anything else here to look at? Yeah, I think that's all. Shift. Let's do our weld. I'll just get into vertex mode for that weld. Did it work? I'm going to undo that. I want to see it pop into place. Okay, that's good. Now the other side. Let's, okay. And now this is what's bothering me, this little area here with no faces on it. It's like it's a bunch of edges. Let's, in vertex mode, let's see if we can select all these. Now let's make sure there's none selected on the back side. I'll delete those. And at this point, all we need to do is fill in this area back here, however we need to. We'll go to edge, grab this edge, we'll see if we can get a loop. We do. We'll go to this next thing over, which is border. And once you have border, you can click cap. And cap gives you a big face. Now I can go in and cut that thing up a little bit. So I'm going to go back to vertex mode, go back to cut, and just make some more strategic cuts. So there is a good place to cut, and got to go back to shaded from time to time. See how we've cut along an existing scene? In fact, I look at another thing here. I think this is kind of a wasted triangle here. So I'm going to use, I'm in vertex mode. I'm just going to go to target weld and just weld these guys up here. And let's just do this. Is that good? I think that's good. Another little issue here. Let's just fix that. Let's probably set a cut and say I want to cut from here all the way up to here.